I'm back. And last year, I could hear the cynical voices of people, a couple people, not many. Most people were very supportive, saying, of course you'll be back. You'll be back for the money. You'll be back for the YouTuber, glamorous Pokemon, PokeTuber lifestyle. Of course you'll be back. And of course, I've thought about it while I'm away. So what's happened? What's changed? Am I really just back for the money? What's going on in my life? I also released this week a Patreon. It's free to access, and Ask Me Anything, where I was just answering kind of questions more geared towards Pokemon and like what is going to be on the channel. This is the why. This is what I'm doing and how it ties into my wider life as Toby Rivers, an actor, as Toby Hill, myself. What's going on my journey? So, to understand why I'm back, you have to understand why I left. And why I left stretches back to about a year before I even did. So here's the abridged summary. I found myself in a position where I had a lot going for me in life, and I'm very incredibly grateful for all the opportunities, but I wasn't happy. Something was up. Something was bothering me. I went to therapy, and in therapy, one of the early questions my therapist asked me is, who are you without this job? What is this Birdkeeper Toby thing you're doing? And I couldn't answer that question. I could only laugh and say, Birdkeeper Toby is the point. Like, the point of everything. Like, this job that I'm lucky to have, even if I'm not 100% happy to be doing it all the time. Because deep down, I feel like it might be a creative crutch getting in my way, stopping me from exploring acting and other creative endeavors. Also, I wonder if my ideas are running dry, and I wonder if I even like Pokemon anymore, the game the whole channel is based around. I was covering Pokemon theories, and those are becoming harder to come up with because, well, the Pokemon franchise has been out for 30 years, and in my last 10 years of YouTube, I've sort of dug up all the good ones, and I'm worried that there just isn't much more to cover, and I'm just kind of reaching every year, feeling the successful potential of the channel declining. So, I worked through therapy. I worked through my identity crisis. I worked through all the little ins and outs and got to a point where I could comfortably say, all right, let's see who I am without Birdkeeper Toby. I didn't rush for that. That was a decision that I made slowly and carefully and said, okay, with this last year, that being 2023, I'm going to ride out the brand deals that I've got going on, and I'm going to ride out the DLCs of Pokemon, and I'm also going to put some of that money into some of the best videos I can make. And I have to believe, leaving the channel here, that that's the end. If I don't believe that, even though there are little intrusive thoughts about what if you did a relaunch sometime? What if you came back? I think I even said the words Lawkeeper Toby in the video where I announced leaving. And of course I had those thoughts, but I had to keep shelving them and say, no, I am going to go and explore other creative opportunities because I know what those thoughts are. They're security blankets telling me that it's okay. If you can't do anything else, you can keep on being on YouTube. No, I have to go and explore other endeavors. And so I did. I took the first 4 months of last year off, and I had a much needed break. After that, I jumped headfirst into the world of acting, getting headshots and show reels, working out what skills I would need, signing up to various casting platforms, going for jobs, going for an audition. I got my first audition for a Christmas pantomime. With that locked in, I felt very like, yeah, this is something I'm doing now. And I got an agent, which is super, super cool. And with the Daisy Hills company, I have representation there in the industry. And I've began sort of learning new skills like horse riding, and I'm learning a new accent at the moment. I'm learning a Yorkshire accent. That's not very good. Hang on. The dull young monks rushed in flood to hunt buds of lovely buttercup. I'm getting there. Anyway, all of this to say, the acting journey really did begin, and I gave it my all. And those little thoughts, for the first 4 or 5 months, I really just kind of waved them out of the way and went, no more YouTube stuff. We're focusing on this. And once I had my job booked in for doing this pantomime, and once I felt like I had put an adequate amount of work in, I then began to entertain the ideas that weren't forced, that I didn't force upon myself, ideas that I still said, how can I approach this in the slowest way possible? Ideas that came about because I have lots of Pokemon YouTube friends. Game Boy Luke, for those of you who know him, does not live far away from me and will come over to visit. And Phoebe, my partner, she is beginning her YouTube journey at the moment. She's still fledgling in that. And he was giving her a lot of advice. And I would sit there and I'd watch his advice and him showing what he was working on his channel, and her talking about what kind of creative new opportunities she was coming up with. And it would get me thinking, like, well, if I did relaunch, what would that look like? And soon pen hit paper and names got written down and channel ideas and types of content and how could I approach it? I mean, after all, if I've already dug up all the Pokemon theories out there and my audience is subscribed for Pokemon theories on YouTube, how do I make it interesting? Well, what I had spent the year doing is compiling older videos and releasing those compilations as a new way to digest the videos and as a little bit of way of getting some extra revenue in. And I thought, well, yeah, actually, why aren't I taking older theories, videos from 10 years ago that are low in quality compared to today's standards, and bringing them up to the same level as everything else within that kind of topic, within that frame? Why don't I become more of a, I've got the authority to do it, I've got the history, I suppose, maybe not the authority, I've got the history of the tenure. I've got the tenure of doing Pokemon lore on YouTube, where if I decided to become a channel where I could create these kind of lore Bible videos, the encyclopedia on any particular topic, I could provide a real service in terms of what is out there in terms of the lore and all of the theories from over the years. I could put them all in one place and do that for, 100 different topics in the world of Pokemon. And if I made them high quality and did one a month, 100 topics would last me 10 years. And that's just one idea. I've got another series I'm juggling as well. And there are other one-off videos that I'd be interested in making. Another big turning point was with True Green 7, another PokeTuber. If you know him, Ron, many of the people subscribe, you'll know these people. And Ron helped me develop a mascot that I just really like. It's got a name. It's a mysterious name. It's hidden on the channel. No one really knows it yet. A couple people have said the right thing. Maybe when we hit like 300,000 subscribers, I'll start sharing that kind of information. But yeah, I basically thought about the channel from the ground up. Music and editing and what the editing process was going to be like. What went wrong with the editing process before? How could I be more involved with it? How can I really make sure the videos could be as high quality as possible? And well, hopefully, if you're watching this video, you saw my first video on Lawkeeper Toby. It's just surpassed 30,000 views. It's still fast growing. It's one of the best videos that I've released in terms of like viewership in a long time. And I believe in it. Like, I just think it's gonna, as a template for what I could do going forward. Yeah, I'm back as Lawkeeper Toby. What else? What about my love of Pokemon? How about that? Like has that changed? Because, it's not like Scarlet and Violet, the games that I had kind of heavily made me fall out of love with Pokemon. It's not like they've changed. It's not like they've been patched to a point of changing how I think about them. Well, no. But I stopped focusing on them, because if I'm not focusing on the new game coming out exclusively as my source of joy now, because I'm desperately looking to make more content about the next thing, I can look back at the older stuff. I can play the older stuff and just enjoy what's already there that I already love. And I think the idea of repurposing and revisiting older ideas, stitching and remixing and bringing them up to modern day standards with all of the knowledge of what we now know about the Pokemon world, 10 years on, that in itself is like a really joyful process for me. And there's stuff I love about Pokemon from all over the franchise, from Gen 2's art style, which is very prevalent in my rebrand, to music from actually more of the modern games have the better music, I think, than a lot of the older games. So the older games have great music for videos. It's the modern games is where I want to look. There's a little bit of everything. Sorry, I'm talking really fast, so I'm like breathing quite heavily. But also, I've been playing ROM hack games. The legacy games by Smith Plays Pokemon have been a big part of my year last year. I'm now finally, for the first time, open to ROM hacks and talking about ROM hacks and fan projects that I love, because as you probably saw on this channel earlier this year, I'm not worried about having a great relationship with the Pokemon Company. I don't want a bad relationship with the Pokemon Company. Don't get me wrong. Pokemon Company, if you're watching this, I'd love to work with you, of course. But it's just not my aim. It's not my goal. I think over 10 years, I gave a pretty good shot towards the kind of relationship I would have loved to have had with the Pokemon Company. And we made steps towards that. But I think it'll be another 50 years, if ever, before the Pokemon Company are where I want them to be when it comes to a relationship with content creators. And that's fine. That's not on them. They don't need it. They're huge. They're doing fine without me. All this to say, I just wanted something a little bit more Red versus Blue, Rooster Teeth, Bungie. For those of you who know, you know. Okay, so that's my love of that, and that's the Pokemon situation and the games and my attitude towards content creation. And what about identity, Well, yeah, I went off and I explored other creative avenues. I'm Toby, and this Lawkeeper Toby thing, it's a project. It's not who I am. I'm a creative, and I do YouTube, and I act, and I have a couple different YouTube channels. Actually, I spent a lot of last year just bringing my other hobby channels to a point where they're monetized, so that if I want to spend time on them, I can also make a little bit of money doing it. And did I just come back for the money? I mean, all of these things, they're all monetized. Well, yeah, ultimately, I want to spend a lot of my life doing stuff I love and hopefully making some money while doing it. That would be nice. I'd be very lucky to get to do that, and I'll have to work hard to maintain that, as long as I make stuff that you enjoy. That's what I'm going to aim to do. And there's one more piece to this. There's one more brick to this, because it needs to have a larger world purpose. I need to understand what it is I'm doing. Lawkeeper Toby, that channel, has the ability to reach people. And reaching people makes it a really great avenue for charity. Now, I used to do yearly charity streams, and actually even my year away with Birdkeeper Toby, I still came back just to do like a one charity stream. And we raised like $4,000, I think it was. Just in one day. Just you did that. Just people chipping in $1 here, $1 there. It added up, and we were able to raise money for Doctors Without Borders. I think that's going to be a feature of the channel going forward, and we're not going to change the world. We're not, but we're going to be a brick. We're going to be a piece of that. We're going to be a little segment of, and this is something that Bernie Burns has said about the Rooster Teeth reacquisition. I want to be part of the de-shitification of the internet. This is a term that I love. I don't need to change the world. In fact, in the world we're in, a lot of people need escapism. I need escapism. I can't handle it. Like, just, it's too much. Sometimes a dumb place where we can talk about Pokemon is what's needed. And in my acting, hopefully one day I'll get to explore more important and relevant areas and be able to contribute in other ways. But for now, while that is something, the acting that will build very slowly over the next 40 years, I'm in no hurry to be in the next big film tomorrow. At the moment, I just need to get in opportunities, and I just need to get in jobs, you know. In the meantime, while I'm doing those reps and earning my place, I'll do this channel at the same time, and my hobby channels. And if I can be part of that de-shitification of the internet, provide some escapism, and once a year raise some money for charity, there's some purpose there as well. Everything's been thought of from the ground up. And obviously there's still a lot that I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know that I don't know. And I'm looking forward to discovering it all and exploring it all together with you in this new chapter called Lawkeeper Toby. That's why I'm back. And that's why I'm confident this is something that's going to last. Because it's not something that I've just been lucky to inherit and that I've ended up with. It is also now an active choice. And if I wasn't feeling this way, I wouldn't have come back to it. I'd be making a push on one of the hobby channels or not on YouTube at all, because I wouldn't want to tarnish the legacy of what was Birdkeeper Toby, a successful project. But I think it's got legs, and I think we can go a little bit further. So I'm going to go catch my breath because I'm a little wheezy. I guess I've just been talking a lot, and it's been a long day. But thank you, everyone who has supported my first videos back as Lawkeeper Toby. I'm excited to show you more, and Pokemon Day is right around the corner. Channel here, subscribe for more of my YouTuber life behind the scenes and actor life behind the scenes. You won't want to miss it.